All right, let's travel to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. Just like Led Zeppelin says, we're going to bring it on home. On our final journey across the country with Tiki Mug souvenirs.
Well, we did start in Florida, so it is technically across the country.
Florida, the California, and now we are back in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
And I honestly think we have some of the best tiki bars there is. And starting with probably one of my favorites, Holly Paley in Portland, Oregon. Originally the place was called Thatch, and then it got shut down, and then it reopened again as Holly Paley. They pretty much maintained the bones of the place, but it's perfection. It's one of the.
But they added to it. They improved cocktails. They improved decor, new investors, new ideas.
Yeah, and along the way they actually have their own mugs. So you have a couple actually from Holly Paley.
Yeah. I've got the older one right here, created by Monk Tiki.
Monk Tiki. 2013. So this was actually when Monk Tiki was still in Portland.
Right. Before they
at least Paul and Devil were there.
Right.
And was there a particular drink that this would come in? Or?
Yeah, the drink was the drink was what the mug was named after, which were supposed to be the water bearers that I believe the legend was something about them keeping Pele's fires quenched. So they carried water to quench the fires of Pele, which is Hale Pele.
Yeah.
Pele being the volcano and fire goddess.
So,
and if she were too enraged, she would swallow the island and everybody else.
Crazy.
It was on the island.
Crazy.
Ticked her off. Oh.
And then this is the other one, right?
Yes. Now that's a little bit more interesting to me, at least.
Oh.
Because that's the Cannibal Trio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Cannibal Trio.
So the Cannibal Trio. If we go around here, we have the hunter, the catcher, and the eater.
Yeah.
So if you've been to Hale Pele, they have those three statues behind the bar, which I believe came from. Did those come from Steve Crane's Cone Tiki?
No, I think that came from. There was a Chinese restaurant tiki bar that was that was in Portland, the Jasmine Tree.
Okay.
And then they came over to over the Holly Paley. These tikis are actually literally right behind.
As three separate statues, but they managed to incorporate all three of them into one fantastic mug design.
Yeah. And one of the oldest tiki bars in America.
Yes.
The Alibi.
Yeah, there's some debate over when exactly it became a tiki bar, but it definitely had tiki and tropical decor, at least in the 1950s.
Established in 1947.
Yes.
And this is a really, really cool mug made by Monk Tiki.
Mm-hmm.
And if you order a zombie, it's like $25. No, I think it's like 23 actually.
Yeah, I think it's under 25.
And then you get the drink, and then you get to keep the mug.
And of course, they have multiple colors, so whether you're into red, green, brown, yellow, orange,
yeah, and this is
blue.
blue. And they all have their own little personality to it. But the drinks at the Alibi for a long, long time were like not very good, but then they got new owners, and then they upped their drink program, and I like their zombie.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, old school tiki, love it. Dark. It's one of those places like when you go inside, you gotta let your eyes adjust. And
in fact, the only place that I've been to that's genuinely darker is Frankie's out in Vegas.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But the cool thing about
and not by much.
No, but Portland, Oregon has two awesome tiki bars, the Alibi, Holly Paley, and they're kind of uncomparable to each other. And
now a solemn moment for our tiki bars that aren't with us anymore.
Oh yeah, there used to be a Trader Vic's there.
And prior to that, there was another Trader Vic's that had closed, but this Trader Vic's was in the Pearl District, and it was a beautiful, gorgeous location.
It was huge.
And it had a giant open, not exactly patio, but open to it was a corner building, and it was open to the sidewalk, and on nicer days, they would literally open it up, and you could be sitting inside the restaurant watching everything going on outside at the same time.
Yeah, I used to love going to that Trader Vic's, and the cool thing is they had a great happy hour. And when I started my blog in 2016, I went down to Portland, and I was going to all right, I'm going to hit the Alibi, I'm going to hit Holly Paley, I'm going to hit Trader Vic's, take pictures and write down some information to do the posts. And as I was driving to Trader Vic's, I'm like, well, I guess I should see what their hours are. Permanently closed.
Yeah.
There was a fire.
And I had been in Portland a couple months before that, and it was New Year's Day, and I didn't think that everything would be closed on New Year's Day, but it was. Come to find out, Trader Vic's was open. I didn't go there, and a few months later, they had the fire and closed down. So I didn't get a chance to go back.
It's a shame, but you did get a couple items here.
Yeah, the Trader Vic's mugs, these were available at other Trader Vic's locations, but these were actually purchased at that specific location. So
dude, this is huge.
So this is my remnants of visits there. And that's based on traditional menu art from Trader Vic's.
Yes, it is.
The vintage menus. So if you look at the vintage menus, and I think some of the current menus still use the same artwork. You can see that.
It's incredible.
But I mean, it's a great mug, and it gives you lots to hang on to. Whoever created this mug knew what they were doing, because it's shaped exactly right to hang on to such a big, heavy mug. And of course, the beautiful little Trader Vic's coconut. With the original Trader Vic's being opened in 1934 in what had been the Hinky Dinks over Oakland, wasn't it?
I think so.
Oakland, not San Francisco.
So
When Victor Bergeron got an idea, some would say from visiting the Los Angeles area, that maybe this exotic bar thing was a good idea and better than having a barbecue joint.
It says aloha.
Yes.
Man, it's a shame. And that's how it comes when it comes to tiki bars. It's like easy come, easy go. There was a Trader Vic's that was up in Bellevue, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally open for like 2 years. It was like open from like 2007 to like 2009. It was literally my second tiki bar I ever went to, and it's like gone.
Yeah, one of the first legitimate tiki bars that I went to was on a Navy deployment in Dubai. In a high-rise tower, I got to go to one over there.
Wow.
And it was a fantastic memory, but I didn't buy any mugs because I was on a ship, and I was limited in what I could carry, and I didn't really know as much about tiki in general at that time. That was one of the catalyst or springboard events that made me think I need to find out more about this.
Hey gang, we'll get back to the tiki conversation here in just a second, but I want to let y'all know that I have t-shirts for sale. They are screen printed in America. The artist is Tony Canepa, and they're going for $20 a piece, $25 including shipping. If you're interested in buying one, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and then there's a tab that says buy a t-shirt. Click on there and just follow the prompts. So thank you very much. And let's get back to the tiki conversation now. Well, speaking of other countries, in my opinion, one of the best tiki bars out there. This is the Shameful Tiki Room.
Absolutely.
And it's actually where I started my blog at. I live in Seattle, and I'm always looking to see if any new tiki bars are opening up in the area. And then I saw that there was this tiki bar open up in Vancouver, BC. Shameful Tiki Room. I'm like, okay, all right. So I went up by myself, and I was sitting at the bar, and I was sitting there by myself at the bar, feeling just kind of like a little lonely. And I thought to myself, I just drove all the way up to another country to go to a tiki bar. This is crazy. Because before, if I was in a particular city, if there was a tiki bar, I would go see it. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like traveling out of my way to go, and I'm like, wow. But if I had a blog, then it would be like research. And then I literally started my blog that night. I went back to my hotel room and started my WordPress account and got my blog. That was 2016.
So Tiki with Ray was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, at the Shameful Tiki Room.
Yeah, and this is your mug, but I bought this mug when I was up there.
What could be more Canadian than a tiki totem holding a beaver?
And that's exactly what it's doing.
I mean, this, I actually had to go through a friend to get this mug because they were no longer available by the time I made my first trip up to the Shameful Tiki Room. But I'd seen this mug. I love this mug. I needed to have this mug.
Yeah. And that isn't their only one. They make a point to like have they do a new mug every year? Is that
yes, every year they do an anniversary mug.
So then there's this big guy.
Yeah, which this guy, I haven't taken him out to any other bars yet because honestly, he's really hard to hold on to, and I'm kind of worried about drinking with this.
It's a big mug.
It's a heavy mug, and it's a little difficult to grip, but it's beautiful. This is a play on the mask that they use on their sign and logo, but on both sides of a volcano.
It's so cool.
And was this one an Ecom Book? No, this one's a Monk Tiki. This is a Monk Tiki Imports.
Wow. It's incredible. And then you have, well, there's so many of them. But
yes, on the 5-year anniversary, we were up there around the 5-year anniversary, and the 5-year anniversary, they did the zombie mug. So notice we've got the 5 cut out in the back, so you can see the ribs and meat there. We got little grubs crawling through the face. We got ribs sticking out. We got elbows sticking out. It's pretty grisly. At the Shameful Tiki, they have a couple of small black and white TVs behind the bar that are kind of incorporated in the bar, and they used to constantly show Night of the Living Dead, the original version of it, the old black and white version. Yeah. And they've got drinks on the menu that allude to that as well.
Yeah, and this is an Ecom Bukum. Always an excellent job. It is a cool mug.
And that mug is chock full of details.
Yeah.
Gory, grisly, somewhat comical details. But one nice thing about living where we're at in the Pacific Northwest is that it's not like, say, the San Francisco Bay Area where you've got, almost a dozen legitimately tiki bars and another half dozen tiki-adjacent kind of bars or places where you can get craft cocktails that are tiki-esque. But we have a couple of good places that are close to us and several other places like the Hale Pele, the Alibi, and the Shameful Tiki Room that we can drive a couple of hours and we can be there too. Have a nice weekend trip to tiki it up without having to go all the way to California.
Kind of going off the tiki train a little bit. Rod Moore, the owner of the Shameful Tiki Room, he created a haunted house bar called the Dark Manor.
Yes.
And I saw this place before.
I was with you on that trip. We got a chance to go inside and see what he was building out.
Yeah, it was a Chinese restaurant. And he made this thing look like a Victorian, what would it be? Victorian
I would say, yes, a late Victorian mansion-style home that had been haunted and dilapidated and created a whole legend of the people that had lived there and what had happened to them.
So he actually made a mug for the Dark Manor.
Yes, this is another one that isn't with us any longer because it didn't catch on with enough business. It was more whiskey-themed than rum-themed. They did include a zombie and one or two other kind of tiki-esque cocktails. But it just, as much as it was a beautiful, fantastic, immersive environment, it just didn't catch on as much.
And it's a shame because the place was incredible and he did a great job. But we still have the mug.
Yes, we still have the mug to remember it by, the reason we included that and the Trader Vic's from Portland is because these souvenirs remind you of these places after they're gone.
Yeah. And speaking of places that are no longer with us, bringing it back home. We have Tacoma Cabana. Right.
Our home for tiki in the greater Seattle area was actually in Tacoma.
Yeah.
The Tacoma Cabana where Jason Alexander set up shop with Robin.
Yep.
And together they put out a fantastic environment and amazing drinks and kind of taught us what tiki drinks really could be.
Yep.
Because I'm sure Ray will attest to this. The first drinks that I drank that were supposed to be tiki drinks that were Mai Tais and zombies were actually pretty awful drinks. They were completely unbalanced. You were likely to get a burning sensation when drinking them. You probably experienced a hangover if you had 2 or 3 of them.
Yep.
But going to the Tacoma Cabana, we discovered what a well-balanced, delicious tiki drink could actually be because Jason based it on legitimate recipes. And he what would you say? He crafted his style of tiki drinks at the Tacoma Cabana. And the Tacoma Cabana briefly had a mug, but it was a very small run, and I wasn't able to get one of those. But I still have a couple of mugs that I picked up when they were doing promotional events. So we have the Pusser's Painkiller from one of their promotional events, so I'll always remember that night up there. And another night they were doing a promotion for Galliano, and I love this mug.
What?
That is a very, very fun mug. It's a Moai affectionately holding onto a Galliano bottle.
And a tiki form mug too. Wow.
Yes.
Were they for sale or was it? Just
it was a special drink that was it was a couple of special drinks that were available that night, and they threw in the mug with the drink.
Oh wow!
But it was just until they ran out of them, and I happened to get up there when it was open because in this day of social media, if you pay attention to your favorite location, sometimes they'll tell you, hey, if you guys if you come out tonight or tomorrow night or before we run out, you can get this with your drink.
Yeah.
And I was glad that I made it because I've got those those pieces to remember going to Tacoma Cabana by. Anytime I look up on my shelf, I can remember those nights out there. But we're sad that the Tacoma Cabana is gone, but without Tacoma Cabana, we would never have the Devil's Reef.
Oh, yeah.
And the Devil's Reef is the epicenter for tiki in our region.
Yeah, the Devil's Reef was Jason and Robin's second tiki bar.
Yes.
And, man, they knocked it out of the park.
They spent, about 6 months building it out by hand themselves.
Yeah, literally.
With a few friends helping here and there, but primarily the two of them, blood, sweat, and tears, building it out to make this amazing bar that's on kind of a dark waterside H.P. Lovecraft theme.
Yeah, and there's people that travel from all over the country.
Literally all over the world.
To Tacoma to come to the Devil's Reef. And I live up in Seattle. You live down here in Tacoma, and there's like so many times where like friends of mine will come into town and and I'll be like, "Hey, are you going to be coming up to Seattle?" And they're like, "No, we're just going to the Devil's Reef." I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." And the Devil's Reef has made a couple great mugs.
Yes.
Which one do you want to go with first?
This one came out earlier. Now they did put out a skull mug that was made by Monk Tiki, but I wasn't able to get that one.
Yeah.
But this is an Ekum Bukum mug that's known as the Infinity Skull. So as you go around, you're getting different aspects of the skull, and the different skulls are sharing eye sockets. And every single face of this has different little critters moving around, different sorts of flotsam and jetsam items, and it's a beautiful, beautiful killer mug.
Wow, my God, that is so cool.
And actually, for a mug that size, there's a lot to grip onto, so it's a mug that I'm actually comfortable holding.
Well, it's awesome because you just kind of work on the eye sockets, and then you're good to go.
If you make a mug that big and heavy, it can't be smooth.
Yeah, there's a starfish in there. There's I guess some kind of I don't know, an insect of some kind there. Yeah, I
think that's a centipede of some sort.
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
I think there's an eel around there somewhere.
Yeah, right there.
Yes.
Wow.
So the more you look at it, the more things you find. And even up on the shelf, I'll find myself now and then walking by and turning it a little bit so I can see a different part of it the next time I come by.
Going on the more minimalist idea.
Yes, from Van Tiki, Henrik Van Ryzen.
Yes, what is this?
That is the 13-pounder. It's based on a 13-pound cannonball. But even though it looks like a pretty minimal design, he worked in some interesting little facets to it. So we've got the Devil's Reef right there. Then we've got the logo that was designed by the Fezmonger, which I don't know if you want to add to that.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a logo that was designed for the Devil's Reef. And then over here, we've got the crossbones and skull right there.
Yeah, the Devil's Reef has a nautical theme to it. And goes right along. Well, there's actually cannons.
Yes, there are actually a facade of pirate cannons overlooking the bar from the second floor up.
Now, again, the Alibi mugs you can still buy. And every year there's always a new Shameful Tiki Room mug. But, a lot of these mugs, they come and then they're gone.
And then I think the Hale Pele one, they released a different glaze of the Cannibal Trio mug. I don't know if that glaze is still available or not.
So the nice thing is, it's if you go to a tiki bar, pick up a mug. Because you might not be able to get that mug again.
And then a year from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to look on a bookshelf or in a cupboard, and you're going to see that, and you're going to remember that night you spent at that place.
Yeah. Yeah, you will. Because you're probably going to drink a lot of drum that night. So unless you took some pictures, this is a mug that you're going to remember the night from. And
what's going to be more fun when you make that drink at home? To hoist it up in a mug that you picked up at a bar that you enjoyed a night out at, or to hoist it up in a glass that, sits on your shelf all the time.
Or a mug that's made out of skulls that go on for infinity. It's ridiculous.
You can't have too many skulls.
Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.